Guys, hello everybody. Can we have a small greeting here? All of those who can hear me, welcome to all. And can we please have a quick say hi, hello on the chat? We will interact uh, mostly through the chat here. So all those who are here, uh, can you please? Yeah, we have Mr. Nikhil. Hi, Nikhil. You're the first one to say hi. Hello, everybody. We have 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞. We have Vaishali. Hi, hello, Vaishali. How are you doing? Then we have Akred Bhatnagar. Hi Akred, how are you doing? Yes, we have many people here. Melanie Joy. Okay, good. And we have Marco. Yes, hi Marco. Tony, Mary Rose. So many people. Okay. It would be good if you can also tell, just put, hi and maybe from something like that. So, we'll get to know as to where are you from and which city you are. So, yeah, Cheryl, single, no problem. Even if you said hi, you just put a city name here. Where are you from? Barandet, Mumbai. Okay, so Ketki is first to say that she's from Mumbai. Okay, always ahead. Okay, Odisha we have, then we have Delhi, of course. Chandigarh we have. Oh wow, we have somebody from Philippines as well. Okay, great. Delhi. Yes, so two from Delhi, Philippines. Yeah. Then Madhya Pradesh, Shahdol. Yeah, very good. Akriti Bhatnagar is from Shahdol. Yes. Hi guys, it will just help us to understand where you all from. So small time we are interacting, but yes, it's good to hear, to see, and people from various places. Yeah, we have Manipur. Oh, we have so many people from Philippines here. Hi Mary Gars. Hi Mary. Very good evening. Very good evening from India. Okay, quite a lot of people here from Philippines. Okay. Well, guys, what we'll do is we will, just quickly set the agenda. I will just try to set the agenda. First of all, I will, Jamema. Okay, yeah, Jamema, good afternoon. I see the messages. What I'll do is we have actually, put down a chat, and what we'll do is we will mostly try to interact over the chat just to make sure that, there are not too many interruptions and not too many questions being asked at the same time. So I just set the agenda of this meeting. So we are dot on time, maybe just a minute late. And let me begin with setting up an agenda. Right, we all are here to understand, what technical writing is and what Henry Harvin offers in imparting a quality, training on technical writing course, which is actually a set industry standard, which actually helps the technical as well as non-technical people to get into this very demanding or very much in demand kind of a job in nowadays. So whether you are a fresher or you are experienced, whether you come from a software industry, whether you're coming from a non-software industry, yeah, Chandrani, hi, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so this program is for all. Okay, and we will see what exactly technical writing or technical communication field is, and we'll try to understand why it is gaining so much of importance. Right? We have our moderating team here. Will actually keep a check on, or will help answering your questions. So if you have any questions, maybe in the middle, what you can do is you can put over the chat, and we will try to answer them, as it is possible. Okay. So all set. What we'll do is we are at dot 4:06. We'll quickly try to understand what technical writing course is, what is all encompasses about, why it is in so much of demand, and how Henry Harvin will help you get into your dream job in your dream company as well. So feel free to ask questions, but try to avoid too many questions, if at all that is being already answered, because it gets too cluttered. And we'll try to answer all the questions. Don't worry about that. Right? So we start with this session, and just a second. So we'll just go to Okay. Right. We will go to the slides here. Just a second. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. Can we please move to the next screen? Okay. So what we'll do is we will share the screen. Okay. Cool. So I hope everybody can see my desktop, right? So we have a few slides here, and we'll go through that, and we'll try to understand what we are trying to learn today. Okay, so we will try to understand what the concept of technical writing and the future opportunities that lies ahead. All right. So first of all, what is technical writing, right? We would have heard, a lot many companies posting their the job requirements, and suddenly we would have seen that these days, the technical writing or technical communication is catching up a lot. Whether it is IT industry or it is manufacturing industry, we are getting the demands from all over, the industries, like whether it is small, medium, and even startup companies, are looking for technical writers. What exactly is technical writing? And as I don't know if you are really aware of that, but let us try to explore. Technical writing is a specialized skill, that explains or tries to demystify the complex products or services to the customer in the most possible or understanding way, right? There are so many technologies, there are so many products, there are so many complex services that so many company offers. So these are the technical writers who actually understand those products and services and present them in the most the prominent or the most understanding way to the customers, right? The customers could be the end users, or it could be the users of the application, or it could be the administrators, or it could be the developers, or it could be even, let us say, mechanics. Let us say, for example, in terms of mobile repair mechanics. So you may have to prepare some content for them as well. So irrespective of the audience or the customer or the end user, which will actually help in delivering the product or service, deliver its intent in the right manner, technical writers are those who actually understand those concepts and convert that into the content and present to the audience. So they're actually the people, or the skill set of people who actually convert the entire goal of an organization and make them reach to the end user. And that is why the technical writers are so much in demand, right? Just we have your chat here. We'll try to look at the chat once we go through this particular screen. And technical writers actually don't just write, in just any way. The content has to be really clear. It has to be really concise. That whatever information is required for the audience, only that much is produced, following a specific instructions or specific output or the specific format for a specific audience, right? The audience may differ. We might say, it could be end user, it could be beginners, it could be experts, and so on and so forth. And the quality of the content that you would see is actually different from what a normal or a layman would write, and that is why it's actually a specialized skill, and maybe that is the reason that is in so much of demand. And not only from being a high quality, it's also demand from accurate content, because so many times the content is referred to, and to be able to provide the intended service. So the content also should reflect the accurate content with regard to data, operations, handling, maintenance, so that either the end user is able to achieve the end result, or they are able to solve their problem. Okay, you would have seen so many examples in the day-to-day life. It could be, let us say, a training manuals, which actually describes about the roles and responsibilities in a new role, or it could be also about the promotional brochures, encouraging employees or the customers to take advantage of the offerings or the or the various schemes that a company has. Or it could also be about a very common content like a manual, an operation manual, for example, or a user guide which has a product description. The easiest or the most simplest example I can give you is the maybe the instruction brochure or the instructor manual that you get along with the mobile phone, right? It has all the specifications to be introduced to the customer. It has basic indication as to how to operate, how to start, how to do, handle your camera, how to operate your audio videos, so that you get the best possible results or the experience of the product. So what happens is technical writers are actually the mediators or the bridge between the products and the end users. So end users could be many, not just the end users. There could be many, right? We discussed about that. And what are the characteristics of technical writing, and why exactly technical writing is so much of demand? I mean, can't people who are already there, let us say developers or the managers, there are so many other people in the organization also. So are they not able to write, or are they not able to produce the content? Well, to answer that question, these kind of contents are actually specialized content and requires a full-time dedication and activity, because it is quite sensitive as it delivers the main objective of an organization. It is just not a loose content that should go to the end user. So a lot of deliberation goes into that. A lot of skill goes into that in terms of how it is written, what is written, how much is written, what kind of technology it uses, and what are the specialized tools that are required to produce this content into, let us say, one format into the another. That is the reason specialized technical writers are required. Some of the basic characteristics of the content that a technical writer produces are that they are informative. They are just not the content, right? It could be informative in terms of data, it could be informative in terms of description, or it could also be informative in terms of how to operate a product or a service, right? And then the content, the interaction is direct. The content here is not something that you would normally see, which is written, let us say, a copywriting or a marketing or a sales, right? So we are trying to make the user's life simpler, and by doing so, there are a lot of additional cost, or the overheads of the organizations are reduced. For example, let us say, consider an example wherein what will happen if we don't try to give an operator's manual or a user manual along with the mobile phones, right? The users may not be able to understand the product and might try to call the company support function. So you might be flooded with a lot of calls, and it will increase the overheads. You may have to employ a lot of people. It may lead to dissatisfaction of the customers, and finally the collapse of the product. So it has to have a direct communication with regard to what content or what information needs to be passed on to the customer. And it is very detailed in the sense, in fact, to an extent that whatever is required based on the audience. If the end user is the audience, the end user, possibly all the functionalities of the product will be described. Or if, let us say, the mechanic is there, possibly you might want to get into even more detail. It is concise, right? It is very difficult to write something which is very concise. We are not writing stories here. So that is also a specialized skill, to be able to understand the product and produce the content in various formats using different tools and technologies. To be able to write a concise content is again a challenge, and that is why it calls for a specialized skills, which definitely Henry Harvin's delivers to all those who take up these courses. The objective, one of the biggest characteristics is that it is neutral in the sense it is unbiased. It is just an information given to an end user in general and not directed to anybody specific. Some of the examples of the technical writing are instructions manuals, or the procedures, or scientific articles also which are produced with regard to the technologies, and also the reports which are often needs to be produced to the management or to various department. The importance, you might ask, what is for the technical writing? It focuses on the usability of the content. Usability of the content to be able to operate the product or to be able to utilize the service in the most efficient manner. There may be more than one manner in which a product can be handled or a service can be consumed, but what would be the best way that a particular problem can be solved so that the customer can get a fantastic experience as soon as possible at the right time and at the minimal cost, right? It is also very important because it all depends on the content organization. Not only understand the content is important, it is also important to be able to organize content in such a way that based on the audience that we are writing to, we are able to shuffle the content and produce that as well, right? For example, if let us say if the audience or the end user is, let us say, is not very educated or may not be able to even read or write, in that case, how are we going to produce the content? What are the medium we are using? What kind of tools or technology we are using? So that is the kind of insight that goes into that. Yeah. The technical writing course in terms of future, it has got tremendous opportunities. Right now, there are so many examples wherein we are seeing even the mainstream developers or the software programmers coming out of their regular stream and trying to adopt the technical writing, because as compared to other streams, it is pretty fast, and it also gives a unique advantage that people from all across the background, whether they are from science or they are from businesses or they are from arts, especially for, let us say, Indian audience, if I talk about, if you are coming from even an arts background of a BA or an MA in English, or even if you are BCA, MCA, you don't really have to be necessarily engineers to get into the field. As long as you have basic communication skills and we are able to understand the products or the services and we have keen interest in technologies, I think everybody and anybody can just get into this with a lucrative career with a little guidance and little training. And this is what exactly we deliver from Henry Harvin. It is just not about writing the content, right? It is much more than that. It is just not that in a piece of paper we write something. There's so much of content that actually goes into the product. It could be either on the website, it might be on the apps, it could be on the mobile, it could be even embedded in the product itself, it could be embedded in the software itself, it could be about just any content that you see here, right? So maybe more than the product, you might be actually seeing the lot of content itself. So that is how it helps in achieving the company's objectives or performances. So that is the reason technical writing is gaining a lot of importance, because as the technologies goes, as various tools and technologies goes, more and more people are required to present this information to the end user in the best possible manner, right? In next, let's say, next 5 years, there's a lot of development that's supposed to happen. The research shows that close to 11% of improvement will happen in terms of employment. That is compared to this is much higher as compared to other field as well, right? Then as we see an increase in the web-based product, there'll be increase in demand for the technical writers, because typically in a large organization there'll be at least hundreds of technical writers, right? So the demand for technical writing is very huge. It is growing continuously, and in coming couple of years, I think it will only increase. So this is the right time to get into technical writing. For those who feel that it is something new for them, it is very easy to acquire these skills by a proper training, proper guidance, proper mentoring, and the proper support, which will give them a guidance to go into a good direction, do a lot of self-study, and which will make them confident to either appear for the interviews or even crack the interviews which are normally conducted for either freshers or the experienced people as well, right? We have various roles here, right? Roles in the sense, the way we have different kind of responsibilities. Let us say, if a programmer or the software developer or a tester, for example, technical writing field is very wide and very vast, and it is just not restricted to writing. As we progress, or as people get into this field, there are various opportunities again that opens up to venture into various other fields. For example, even if you get, let us say, you might begin your career as a technical writer, but as you go, you might as well become a publication specialist. So where you play a role of consultant to advise the companies as to how to handle the content for the maximum benefit. Or you might as well become an analyst, right? Because technical writers are one of those people who are actually very good at learning new things, very good at analyzing data or analyzing the trend, or trying to understand about the industry. So technical writers, actually, get graduated with these kind of skill sets, and that is the reason technical writers are, also a good fit to get into an analyst. So always there is a lot of scope, not only to grow vertically, but also as you grow into the field, there are various, opportunities to grow horizontally into horizontal segments as well. You might want to become, document specialist, or let us say you might as well become freelancer if you have, let us say, you get an experience of about 4 to 5 years or 6 to 8 years. You might also want to consider becoming a freelancer where you can work, on your own terms. There are a lot of other roles. Let us say you can become a knowledge engineer, or you can become a content engineer. You can also become a program writer, instructional engineers, or design engineers, and so on and so forth. So it is just not one field that technical writing provides you an opportunity with. You might be able to get into even academic writings, for example. So having said that, getting onboarded with the skills, with a decent training and proper guidance and mentoring, one can definitely expand the horizon of their career. So don't worry, as I said, whether you are a fresher or you have, maybe not very relevant experience, or let us say you are already into development and development of programming, you want to develop in an alternative career, or let us say you are into teaching profession, you want to get into high-paying IT job, or let us say even non-IT job. Technical writing is one of the most preferred career in these times. So all those who are actually considering these lines are, it's a good thought, because even when I started my career as a technical writer, I did not have any background. It is only after coming into the hardcore technical writing that I grew into various roles. You might also want to get into translation and localization. You might also want to get into instructional writing, and you might also want to get into learning and development. There is a lot of scope once you get onto this track. So guys, if you are really thinking about something doing worthwhile in your career, and if you had not so much of success so far, maybe for any reason, this is a golden opportunity that you might want to consider to invest for your lifelong career. Now, who are the major people who offer the jobs in an industry? Where would you find such opportunities, right? It all starts from, if you log on to the careers part of any of the websites, any of the company's website, that you'll be able to see, in the career section, invariably you will get a technical writer, or instructional writer, or a knowledge content writer, or web content writer. You'll invariably find on company website. There are so many IT recruiting agencies that used to recruit programmers, and the software engineers are actually running after technical writers. There are general recruitment agencies, industry specific recruitment agencies. Let us say whether it is manufacturing, or it is embedded systems, or it is semiconductor, or it could be into mechanical industry, or it could be into the air defense industries, or it could be about, let us say, social media forum. Let us say if you even want to get hands-on experience about writing into, let us say, social media, if you want to get, let us say, a community content manager. So there are fundamentals and there are basic rules of technical writing. If we are able to learn that, and if you are able to apply that, possibly it is very easy to get into any kind of this content, right? So now, while we are trying to go through these slides. I think our moderator are also trying to put you some links over there for to put your attendance. So I request you also to take your time, maybe 30 seconds or a minute, to put your attendance on. It will help us reach out to you, in an easy manner. So please keep a check on your chat as well, and you might as well want to put your questions in the chat once the question and answer session is open, because while I'm presenting, I may not be actually be looking at the chat box. So please hold your questions, and once we open the sessions, you might want to ask the questions. So what we are trying to say here is there are so many people or the agencies or the companies, they're actually trying to grab people who actually have good skills on technical writing. So we at Henry Harvin provide pretty good hands-on experience, and once you are ready here as a technical writer, possibly you will have so many people around you, looking to grab you in the market, right? So think about it. It's a very good decision that you might want to take for your entire career. Right, now we'll get into the next. Right, what is the career path looks like as a technical writer? Huh? How does, let us say, if you start right from the scratch, you are nowhere, for example. So normally a technical writer has so many opportunities to grow. You might want to get into business analyst, you might want to become a product manager or marketing, because they are not only good at communication, they are also understand the market pulse. So being a technical author might also get into a full-fledged marketing activities. You might also become a documentation manager, where the entire documentation activities, plans, and outputs are actually managed by the senior folk, let us say documentation manager. And you might also go beyond and become, let us say, a director of an organization, wherein the entire the content is not only managed, but is also put a strategic planning in terms of content, so as to either grow your revenues or grow your customer base or try to attract more customer. So writing is just not about giving a content to the end user. It also about adding the value to the product and services, thereby generating good revenues, building brands of an organization, retaining the customers, and bringing new customers on board, and giving customers the best experience possible with respect to their competitors, right? Technical authors are invariably, within a couple of years, or at least 3 to 4 years, get to the role of project manager, which is actually a very tough ladder, let us say, for the program engineers or the software engineers. For program engineers or the software engineers, it normally takes around 6 to 8 years to get into a role of a project manager. But in terms of technical authoring, I mean, if you are smart enough, if you're able to quickly gather the technology and tools, in much shorter span, you'll be able to get into the roles of a project manager. That means a faster career growth, and of course, more earnings as well. You would have heard about the Scrum, the Agile, the methodologies. Now, because everybody is getting into Agile mode, technical authors also get to work with various teams in the Agile mode and get an experience or an opportunity to get work as a Scrum product owner as well. And once you have, let us say, acquired a lot of exposure, understanding of the market, and you have pretty much good hold on the content and the surrounding tools and technology, you might also be called as a content strategist, as to how to produce the content, where to distribute the content, how to bring the customers to your board, how to increase your revenue.
Hindi man mag-headset lang ako, hindi naman ako kailangan magsabi din eh. Kailangan lang namin pakinggan na Harvin.
Someone is trying to speak, I guess. Guys, can you please be on mute? Oh, yeah, thank you. Okay. Technical writing also provides opportunities to get into testing or configuration management opportunities. So what we're trying to say here, and this is by no means is complete. This list is by no means complete, right? So a normal ladder for a technical writer is being a technical writer, and then the senior technical writer, then maybe a lead technical author, the manager, senior manager, and maybe after that, the director of an organization. So the paths are pretty quick. You might also find, people, let us say, even getting in the middle age, let us say 45 to 46 years of age, heading an organization as a directors. So it definitely helps, you to onboard on a faster career track. So if you're here, if you have come this long, and if you have made up your mind to understand, what technical writing is through this webinar, I think this is one of the most wise investment that you have taken to understand. Now, what is that we do, right? So as an organization, what do we do at Henry Harvin? What are our specializations? How can we help you getting your career fast-tracked in technical writing? Okay, so we'll just quickly see what exactly we do. Okay, a quick introduction about ourselves. We are about close to around 8 years old organization, and we started way back in 2013, and we are based out of San Francisco, California. And we are actually a training and a competency development organizations who offer focused learning solutions into various fields and subjects, we can say. And our subjects or our area of learning solutions are based on the most prominent industries growing in terms of employment, right? Our learning solutions are driven more in terms of people acquiring the employable skills and just not getting the skills just for the sake of it. So we are one of the leading players, and we have been delivering pretty fantastic results in this area. It's not only while we started in US, we also are, with good network in India. We are also present in Sri Lanka, San Francisco, and Beijing as well, right? So we are pretty much established ourselves in this industry. We are not someone who has just come very recently and trying to make our mark here. We have been here. We have seen the market pretty much through. We have seen all the ups and downs, and we have industry-specific people who offer the training. For example, if you talk about technical writing, I'm one of the instructors, from Henry Harvin, who will be taking the online classes, and I have close to 20 years of experience in technical writing into IT as well as non-IT. So you can imagine the kind of expertise you will be getting onto the training, right? We have we have delivered about more than 30,000 learners through instructor-led training, and we have a client base of more than 30,000 so far. We have not only provided classroom training or the online training, we have also provided self-paced training to more than 200,000 learners here. We have more than 80 plus courses that we provide based on the industry requirement. So our reach is very much into across the length and breadth of the industry. It is just not into IT, but we provide a lot of allied services into the non-ITs and non-technical subjects as well. We have, based on our performances, we are actually the preferred vendors for more than 150 corporates, and we have more than 80 partners, partnership with the colleges and universities, one of the top colleges or universities. When we say one of the top colleges, we talk about IIMs and IITs as well. So we are not only providing individual trainings for the end users, but we also collaborate with institutions as good as IIMs and IITs, wherein our courses are very much accepted and are marked as the industry standard, right? So yes, that is what this is all about. And what we do is here, all the trainers or the instructors are come with at least 15 to 20 years of industry experience. We just not deliver training from an amateur or someone who has not acquired decent industry experience. So you don't really get to understand the basic concepts and the fundamentals of any particular subject, but you also get into to learn what exactly happens in the industry, and that is what actually will help you to groom yourself and get you to the industry or employment as soon as possible. Okay. So we try to understand now how technical writing is different, right? Technical writing is different from, let us say, other forms of writing, let us say, content writing or website writing, or let us say, learning and development. The technical writing is more organized. It is more sophisticated, and it is more decisive and strategic, right? And it is always audience driven. So the same content may be produced in a different way to suit a different customer. For example, if you talk about a technical writer in an agriculture industry, you might want to write, for an educated customer. At the same time, you might also want to communicate with, let us say, not so well-educated or literate farmers. So you might really want to, decide as to what is the best format to reach to the customer. So it is not just a boring or a mundane job that holds you just to write, in terms of hitting the keyboards, but it also helps you understand what exactly is going on to the industry. And once you have acquired these skills, the opportunities to move in various organizations pretty fast, right? If you have enough experience, let us say 1.5 experience or 2 years of experience, it is fairly very easy for a technical writer to get into a high paying job or a next level job, which may not be as easy for in other career. The technical writing is the aim of, or the goal of the technical writing is to produce more concise and accurate content, so that your customers actually get a best experience of the products and services. The technical writers are actually kind of a problem solver, because they not only understand the product, but they also understand the possible hurdles or the problems faced by the end users, and they kind of produce a solution for that. So even before you approach someone else, you just have to do possibly go through the content that technical writers have produced, and mostly you will be able to overcome your problems. So you see, they are not just people who produce the content, but also helps to make the user's life simple, which is, I think, will be the core objective or an idea of any organization who wants to gain good command or good share of market in the industry. Now, as technology grows, as the field of technology goes, let us say a couple of years back, we have seen good demand or good boom into artificial intelligence. We have seen virtual engagements. We have seen quite of a demand in e-learning and virtual learning, and so many other technologies have come. Machine learning, we have robotics, and so many other things we have seen. Now this means that somebody should be there who is able to quickly grasp these technologies, quickly grasp all the functionalities which are there of the product and services, and should be able to present them to the end user, right? So that means the role of a technical writer is pretty much secure, right? So once you get into technical writing, you can be assured that somebody or the other will definitely be able to pick you, right? You really don't have to sit on bench. You will normally not see technical writers sitting on bench, which is normally the case of either software programmers who, if let us say, do not have work, will normally be sitting on the bench. But rarely you will see technical writers sitting on the bench. That means with no work, because that is not just one field. They'll be writing for sales. Technical writer will be writing for marketing. We will be writing for the technology, maybe for the training, for instruction manuals, graphic designing, you name it. So technical writers are very much in demand, and they will always be in demand for at least coming good 8 to 10 years. So grab your seat, try to get most of it. Okay, and okay. Various activities, the technical writer. Now you must be wondering, I mean, is technical writer does it mean that one becomes a typist, or someone who keeps on hitting the board the day or time? No, that's not the case. as I keep on emphasizing during my regular classes, that technical writing is a vast variety of mix in day-to-day activities. A normal technical writer would actually, a real life of a technical writer would look like something like 70% of the activities, 70 to 70% of, other activities, and let us say 25 to 30% of writing activities. There's a lot of upskilling that goes into technical writing that, grooms or develops a writer into, let us say, a very matured, a very sophisticated professional. So technical writers, have a lot of choices once they acquire a decent exposure, let us say 4 to 5 years, or let us say 8 to 10 years. There's a diverse field for them to go. That is because they just not do the job. They're, by the sheer nature of their job, a vast field is available for them to grow. We'll just quickly see, some of those fields. Technical writers are extremely good at project planning because normally they'll be working on multiple projects, right? So they become extremely proficient with project planning and project management, and they become extremely good researchers because most of the technical writing, happens on these basic fundamentals of research of either technology, tools, products, and services. So because they work into various domains, their understanding becomes much more wider rather than getting stuck into a particular domain or a stream. They also acquire good understanding in terms of designing and also about interacting with the people, and thereby becoming very good in conversant with getting on to the people, which is actually very important. And that is the reason these people are able to grow faster in the career, right? Then gathering information from various other sources, becoming specification experts, recording and organizing information, which is actually very vital for organization, because just producing the content is not important. Even maintaining and securing the content for the future use is very important. For example, let us say you talk about companies like Google or Microsoft who have been there for 30, 35 years. So whatever the content they would have produced, let us say from 20, 25 years, has to be still preserved. And not only preserved, that content needs to be developed further, considering what new technologies and the new avenues are coming. So they are not only the custody of producing new content, but they are also the people who actually safeguard the content, which is actually the real asset of any organization, right? So developing the information product, if you see, they also contribute to the marketing activities. They are the people who actually are able to produce the voice of an organization and bring more companies towards them, for more business, or retaining the customers, or giving a good customer experience by which your customer base will grow and the customer loyalty will grow, and thereby the company profits in the future will also grow, right? Technical writers also gain a good amount of expertise in terms of testing the products, because they also need to understand the various problems or the hurdles that is faced by the particular product. So they also get a feel or a pulse of testing, and they also become very proficient as to discuss or to chart the long-term planning for an organization, because when the content is produced, normally the senior folks, let us say, in a technical writing, not only will think about today, but they might also think about, let us say, period 6 months down the line, 2 years down the line, even 10 years down the line. So you see that it is just not about writing, as I said. It is only about 25 to 30% of the activities that technical writers do. But other than that, it is a whole lot of other things that are involved in technical writing, which actually gives them edge over any other forms of career. Right. I'm also a mechanical engineer, and I happen to get into technical writing by chance, and I never repent. Now, you can as well become a good trainer, let us say, gathering, let us say, about 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 experience. Once you explore, gain enough experience, you might also want to become a trainer like me, which has a very good demand. Right. Now, what are the difficulties? What are the challenges? If it is only about the content, then what is so difficult about this? I mean, can anybody get into this field? The answer is no, because yes, it is about the content, but a specialized kind of content which is actually coupled with tools and technologies and basic understanding of this field. So what is deals with, right? It means that you need to deal with subject matter expert, right? There are people across the industry who are very senior, who may be at the product level, who may be in the architect, who may be the quality people, or maybe from the testing department. You'll have to interact with everybody. Information gathering, right? A technical writer has a right, as a kind of right to interact with any and everybody in the industry that very few roles offer, right? Because the content is applicable to everybody. The technical writers in their real life scenario interacts with almost every department of an organization, and that's a big advantage for them. And the challenge is, let us say, for example, because they interact with so many people, you will have to deal with a lot of people, a lot of meetings, a lot of interactions, a lot of interruptions as well. So how to deal with that, how to prioritize your work, how to get the maximum out of your, let us say, 8 hours of job every day, and how do you handle never-ending reviews? Because when you're producing the content, everybody has to say yes before that is actually published. And then optimal granularity, right? We really cannot keep on writing stories about the product or services. At the same time, it is very important that the enough amount of information which is right is delivered to the customer. So these are all the challenges. So you see here, it is just not about producing the content sitting in one corner. There are so many hurdles. There are so many problems that a technical writer has to come out of, and that is the reason they actually grow into a very matured or seasoned professionals. And that is the reason, again, I'm saying, boss, whoever is trying to get into technical writing now is one of the best time to get into that, because it is picking up very well. The industry, of course, pays decent compared to other industries, or what the previous technical writers were being paid. Technical writers are actually paid very competitive salaries these days, right? So make up your mind, guys. We'll get to see more bit of it, right? Now, how does a typical training at Henry Harvin looks like, right? We have something. We start with introduction to technical writing, assuming that you do not understand anything or you do not have any background of technical writing. So whether you're coming from an arts background, or you're an engineer, or you're coming from any other background, right? We start our course, our modules makes sure that you understand each and every bit of it, right? So you can see here, we actually start with introducing technical writing. What exactly is technical writing? What is the importance of it? Where all it is used? And what are the documentation process? You have to write what are the various processes, what are the best industry practices that are followed, so that whenever you apply them in an organization, and tomorrow if you want to grow, and let us say if you want to join some organizations, you should really be able to prepare yourself to be able to get into the shoes of other job for other organizations. We also get spend in detail what are the technical writing processes, and we also touch basics of grammar and editing, because that is the crux, that is the fundamental of communication. While most of you might have a good hands-on experience or maybe proficient in communication, we still cover basics of grammar and editing so that nothing is left out while we deliver our trainings. Then we also get into a good understanding of technical writing software tools. As we said, it is just not about writing on a piece of paper, or let us say using only MS Word. This is possibly the biggest challenge we have today, because as the technology and the tools is expanding, even the concept, the technology, and the tools which are used in technical writing is actually growing very fast. From the days where we used to have only, let us say, PDF on MS Word, we have various different concepts, like we may have the concept of data, we may have the concept of markdown, we may have something called Git and GitHub, we may have tools like RoboHelp, the FrameMaker, XML we might want to talk about, we might want to talk about the HTML or the CSS understanding of the technical writers, even if you do not know anything about it. right? So we all try to not only get our hands dirty on it, but we also provide you a clear pathway as to how to get into these roles and do progress in these lines. Then we also tell you what are the various components of the technical documents. It is just not about starting paragraph to paragraph. Where are the various components that actually will help you develop a good document or produce a good documentation? Or let us say, what are the uh, techniques of writing? It is just not that there are various methods wherein by following which we will be able to produce beautiful content. So there are certain techniques, as in any other sports or any other profession. Even if it's a basic writing, there are various techniques that you will be able to learn through these courses. And we also get to understand, let us say, various other concepts of, let us say, formatting of documents, or even creating templates, or creating single sourcing, for example, how to produce different sources of output from a single input of document, right? So there's a whole lot of concept that we actually cover in the entire course of this technical writing. So you see, there is no gap which is left, even if you are entering, let us say, getting into an entry level. So not only for those who understand a bit of technical writing, but also about even if you are straight out of college, or even if you are at the middle level of your career, this course is actually meant for everybody, and kind of very systematically programmed or delivered to get most out of it, right? So there is some technical writing information going on in your chat also, so you might want to have a look at that as well. Now we'll try to get into the program details. Just a second. Okay, well, you might want to say okay. Okay, just a second. Okay, we have these the main features of this program is this is actually a 16 hours live training session, and I'll be one of your primary trainers. I myself have been into training of technical writing, and I have been into this profession for more than 20 years, as I said. So I've seen quite a bit of ups and downs in this industry. So I'll be able to give you the real time feel of an industry, and we'll also be able to see the real case scenarios as to what are the openings, how the documentation is done. We'll also try to see live what kind of documentations are done in various organizations like IBM or Infosys or even Google. We'll also give you fantastic references, which even after the completion of the course, will be able to study on yourself and prepare yourself for the companies. We also hold boot camp sessions on a monthly basis, so that you are in touch with whatever is studied and don't get out of touch. So it's not that once the course is done, the doors are shut. We keep you oiled on regular basis to ensure that you are in the market. By taking up this course, one also gets to be a member of Henry Harvin Writing Academy, wherein we also help you get a lot of opportunities. Our marketing and the recruitment team also helps you come across a lot of opportunities or a lot of openings in various organizations where you might want to get associated there in terms of interns or trainees, or even try to get into a full-time engagement. We also engage deserving students into assignments and life projects, right? And you also get a part as a complimentary. We also help our students or the participant get soft skill development and resume writing services, because unless and otherwise we have some basic skills in terms of soft skill development, and you're able to produce yourself good in terms of resumes, it will be pretty difficult for you to click into the market. All right, so this is what also we help with, apart from our regular sessions, right? And we on what actually will accomplish on completion of this program, right? you will be, once you complete this course, you'll clearly be able to understand the needs of the end user and the ways to produce technical documentation, which is actually the fundamental of being a good writer. You'll be able to write better than whatever you are. You'll be able to write as per the industry standard, which actually is same across the world. So you'll not only be able to, let us say, focus on your current location, whether it is India, whether it is Philippines, or in whichever place it is, you'll definitely be competent for all the openings across the world, right? You'll be able to standardize the content as per the guidelines, whether you're working in any organization tomorrow. Let us say if you're working in a company like IBM, let us say if you tomorrow you want to go to Google or Apple, you'll definitely be able to quickly grasp those guidelines, right? You will also be able to get along with people, to be able to, you'll also be able to approach people. You'll also be able to talk to people. We will tell you, what all skills are required and how you should approach people, how to hold yourself, and how to establish yourself as a good professional technical writer. You'll also be able to understand the seriousness of the assignments, the deadlines, and to be able to prove your points in the larger team. You'll also be able to understand the various finer aspects as to documenting softwares, documenting engineering products, or even documenting for, let us say, learning and development, or the training development as well. So there's a whole lot of the spectrum that you'll be able to understand through this, which will not only open the doors of technical writing, but also will be able to give you a good insight into big opportunities in terms of writing, right? Okay, so that is what it has. Now, what the program details? You definitely have questions as to what is this program, how much is this cost, and okay, you can't see the screen. Just a second. Screen is paused. Okay, are you able to see the screen now? Can somebody say, please, if you are able to see the screen?
It's visible, sir.
Great. Okay. So now what is the program details, right? So we have actually, this program is worth almost, if you see the kind of the benefit that we are delivering is worth more than 30,000 rupees, right? Whether it is training, or it is about the assignment through which you will learn, or about the certification that you will get, a personalized certification, Henry Harvin, because nowadays all the organizations expect a proper or a standardized training in terms of a certification from a reputed organization. And since we are in the market for quite some time, our certification will definitely put you ahead of other students. We also have a live membership for the Writing Academy. You can always be associated with us. Then we have an LMS access portal. This is worth around 4,000 rupees, 24/7. It is not that you have to be available for a particular time. You can anytime log into LMS and be able to see the content and also see the recording, not only from the current session, but also from the previous sessions of the particular course that you get into that. We have a monthly boot camp programs also, which actually keeps you on the edge of these technologies and what is happening in the industry, which will actually give you more confidence, and you'll be updated about the industry all the time. Then you also have unlimited access to multiple trainers. It is just not between the actual trainer and your delivery. You will actually be able to access multiple trainers once you get associated with the Henry Harvin. So what happens is, now what is the next? This entire program, which actually costs you more than 30,000 rupees, is actually being delivered at a very reasonable price, I guess, for 12,500. That is very, very reasonable in the market. I can definitely tell you, based on my experience, that there are a lot of courses in the market who provide the smaller courses in the bits and pieces, which actually will not sufficient to get into technical writing, right? You might get into something that, let us say, 2 hours workshop or half a day workshop. Those courses are not enough for you to get into a job if you are really serious in making a career in technical writing, right? So, and those might cost you, let us say, a single session, maybe close to half of this. Let us say each session of, let us say, 2 hours or even half an hour, it might cost you around 6,000 to 8,000 rupees. So what we are delivering is we are delivering an entire package right from the scratch up to a standard where we'll be able to, prepare you as actual a professional, right? Guys, just give me a second. I think I'll just put on lights. It is pretty dark here. It is raining here. Just give me a second. I will just put on lights here. 1 second. Okay, guys, sorry for that. Okay, so pretty much reasonable or pretty decent fee, which is Henry Harvin we are charging. You might want to, really grab these opportunities and put your career in the right direction. So we have, I think, our moderators. We have put, we have put our details of the course related inquiry. We have put the WhatsApp number as well as the contact number here. You might want to get in touch with our counselors and get more details about the course. Okay, so what we are saying is, while you might think that there are other courses available in the market which possibly charge you less, but from my experience, friends, I'll tell you that they may not be able to give you the whole experience that Henry Harvin is giving you. So this is my strong recommendation, that considering the entire package that we produce within this 16 hours, along with the assignments and close to 25 to 30 references that we provide, you'll definitely be able to get ahead of your competitors or your friends or the colleagues, and you'll definitely be able to make a good career out of it, right? Fine. So just check, just a second. Okay, so guys, do you have any questions? We can take the questions. Just let us know if you have any questions. Just put up your questions in the chat box, or if not, then I would like to thank all of you for joining the sessions, and please get in touch with us, and we would look forward to interacting with you again. Right? We have the batches here starting on the 30th of May, and we also have the batches upcoming starting on the 5th of June. So make a note of these numbers, reach out to our counselors, and ensure that you don't miss on the classes. Right? So thank you guys for joining.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
I have one question with you, sir.
Yeah, please go on.
Like for technical writer, to be a software technical writer, one needs to have a first degree, a graduate in computer science and engineering. One needs to have computer background because they require a sort of programming, coding skills required to become a software technical writer.
Okay.
So for a person who does not come from the computer background, what is the option left to them? Like, will they get any kind of job after undergoing such technical writing course?
That's a very valid question. See, as I told you, due to the growing demand of the technology, a minimum understanding of a technology is definitely required, but it is not mandatory to have or to come from a computer background here. I told you, even if you are from, let us say, a non-technical background, let us say you come from, let us say, an arts background, if you're coming from literature background, and if you have understanding of the technology and you're keen to learn, and definitely, I don't think there is any restrictions that anybody would want to put, because mostly what is tested in organization is that how good you are to learn or how keen you are to understand the technology. So even if you do not have a computer background, for example, if I tell you from my practical experience, when I was working in my organizations, I was reporting to my seniors who are actually do not, even are the science graduate. They came from, let us say, an arts graduate. They were earlier teachers and professors in teaching English in colleges. So if you have a decent understanding of the technology nowadays, I understand that everybody does have. So as long as you're able to have a minimum understanding of the technology, you should be able to get on hands with whatever training we provide at Henry Harvin. You really don't have to be someone from a computer science background. I hope that answers the question, right?
I visited some of the job sites where the main qualification required for software technical writer is BE.
Yeah.
BE in computer science and engineering, and other graduates are not eligible for such kind of job. So
yes. See, there are in not only for technical writing, there are certain jobs, of course, that require a specific background. For example, let us say if you're talking about telecommunications, then there are specific jobs which actually require people from that particular background. But there are not. What I mean is, not all the opportunities or not all the openings that you see will ask for this. Right? Let us, for example, if you really want to get into, let us say, aerospace, right? So it is a niche area and it's a specialized area. Then in such cases, definitely a background is expected. But I would say more than 65% of the opening that we have today does not require a specific experience from a particular background. And when I say 60 to 60%, that forms almost majority of the part of the career does not require you to come from a specific background. I'm telling you, even if you're an art graduate and if you are willing to learn the basics, you can get into this field. Nothing.
And one more, like after undergoing this technical writing course, can one get into the medical writing too, as a medical writer? But even though they don't have the medical background, I mean, those who come from the other streams, those who don't have not done the graduation in medical related subjects, can they really go directly into medical writing too?
See, medical writing is nothing but it is a form of technical writing. This is a technical writing related to medical field. Right? There is nothing very different from medical writing. It is only that it is technical in nature, that it is specific to the medical writing. So yes, since the fundamentals of the technical writing are the same, so even if you are gets a hands-on with technical writing concept, will easily be able to get into medical writing as well. Answer is yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. There's a question, I guess, if we receive a free e-certificates. Yeah, the certificates are included in the course. There is nothing extra that is charged for the certificate. All those who complete this course, an e-certificate is delivered to all the participants who complete this course. The certificates are definitely free. The course fee is inclusive of the e-certificates. Nothing extra is charged.
Sir, can you share some example of the technical writing, that how exactly it looks like? Any of a single example for any of the industry?
Right. See, all of may I know your good name, please?
I am 𝐲𝐸𝐴𝐻.
Okay. See, the best example what I can tell you is, I'm sure you would have used MS Word or MS Excel, right?
Right.
So it's a huge, right? I mean, if you talk about all the features, right? Have we not at any given point of time try to use those features to solve a problem? Let us say, if I wanted to understand how to put a footnote, how to format a table, or how to insert a table, or do those activities, have you not tried to get answers from those documents, from the online help? Have you tried? Have you not?
Yes, sir, I've tried.
Right. Just imagine what would happen if those documents are not there in the software itself. Let us say we install the MS Word suite, MS Excel, MS Word. So are we supposed to call Microsoft company to check, how to insert a row or how to insert a column?
Correct. So
right?
it is something like that.
Now, so those are the technical writers who will actually understand the software and write for the audience, so that the experience is is perfect in the intended manner, and also the overheads or the interaction of the customers in case of issues or problems is minimal. Right? I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. It's perfectly answered.
Yeah. Or even if you see the simplest example, even if you
yes, sir.
Whenever you buy a mobile, you get a operator's manual. So how you decide, if you want to change the battery yourself? I mean, do you go to a mobile, shop or a dealer for every time the small operation you need to do for a mobile phone?
Yes, I like you.
Looking at the instruction manual, you'll be able to solve most of your problems, right? So actually, technical writers are helping you, get most of the experience of the products or the services. So those are the practical examples of a technical writer. Somebody is writing for you, right, guys? So yes, I think we have covered most of the questions. So thanks all everybody, and you have these, the contacts here. So please reach out to our counselors and try to make best use of it. Our batches are starting shortly, and possibly we also have started filling our capacities. So reach out to the counselors as soon as possible and take the best advantage of it. So thanks, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully I will be able to see you, in the sessions. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye bye and take care.
Thank you.
Melanie likes your discussion.
God bless, sir. Thank you po.
Bye bye.
Bye, sir. I love you.
Bye bye.
I love you. Bye.